We're live.
Just like that, we're live.
It just says we're live.
That happens. Welcome to this week of Gear-Report. We got episode 215 for you here for the 22nd of August, 2024. We've been doing this for a few years now. I scratch my head trying to figure out how has no one stopped us from doing this program after more than 200 episodes. I don't know. Let's see. Oh, the Twitter X. It keeps reminding me that I don't have a premium membership.
Right.
And I need to remove that. And I keep forgetting to do that. There we go. We'll save the changes. So now it won't attempt to try to put it out on X anymore. And I have not abandoned the X platform. I know people who were like, that bastard Elon, and I'm like, y'all loved him when he was all about pushing electric cars on everyone. What happened? Anyhow, apparently he's a terrible person now for some reason.
Shame on him for wanting free speech.
I don't understand the logic behind that. But anyhow, I have not abandoned it because of that. I just don't want to pay. So there. Oh, look at that. We've got 3 yos from the Gun Snob. He's being generous this evening. Oftentimes he will withhold the last yo. He says he'll withhold it to see if we earn it, and then he never gives us any feedback on whether we earned it or not. So
leaves us in the dark.
I did ask, and I doubt that most of the people have seen it because I waited too late to ask.
Imagine that.
I did ask a few people who had gone to the goals program, the event that GOA put on in, was it Knoxville? I asked if anyone wanted to come on and talk about it. I think I asked too late and no one saw it in time. Still, man, the more I see people posting about the stuff they did there, it looked like a really neat event. And I'm really upset that I was not able to make it. But I did go up to the lake and hang out with the family, and even just walking up and down a couple times to get from the house down to the dock at the water and back up and walking around the house, which was nowhere near what I would have walked at the event. My foot was done. It was like, nope, why are you doing this to me? So
not letting that heal, huh?
I don't do a good job of sitting still.
You don't.
No. So and the boot makes me feel indestructible because it's like armored on the bottom. So I'm like, no, but I got the boot. I'm fine. And then at the end of the day, my foot's throbbing. And I'm like, man, maybe I overdid it.
You look down at your cankle and you're like, oh my gosh.
Yeah. So let's see. I have been absolutely a machine lately publishing videos, but not where you would expect. Some of these videos are going to end up on the different Gear Report channels, but honestly, the YouTubes and all the different video channels barely pay at all for this stuff. It's like I make more. Let me turn that down 1 or 2 notches on the light. I feel like I'm too bright here. Ooh, that looks better, man.
It looks a little better.
So anyhow, posting exact same videos, I can actually make some money if I post them over on Amazon. So you can see I have discovered how to add a green arrow to images to create intrigue and suspense and make people feel like,
Jesus,
what is that pointing at? That's the whole thing. I want people to look at, like, right here. Here's an arrow, right? What the hell is it? Like, that's what I want them to wonder. I want them to go, I can't figure out what that is. I better click the video so that I can see what it is. So that's the goal. That's what I'm after. And
that's good thinking. I like the arrow.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you do. Hopefully it works. That's if I get some good luck with the arrows, then I'm going to add them to even more. It's going to be annoying. I'm going to be like,
maybe on Gear Report watch every article have green arrows and stuff.
Sure. Hey, if they work, because somebody got to get paid here.
Yeah.
And No, so things that I've been doing though, and I'm going to post all these pizza oven videos on the main Gear Report channel probably, because when I was at the lake, my brother's got a pellet fired pizza oven.
Ooh.
And it's one of the bougie ones. It's from Uni, and it's nice. It's really cool. But I saw last year was the first time that I saw him cook on it, and man, the learning curve. You got to add pellets, but if you add too many, it'll either choke out the fire or it'll be too hot. If you don't add enough, it will get too cool. And maintaining the right temperature, like it's an art, and I haven't figured that out yet. But after being up at the lake, and he made he's got it dialed in, and he made pizza for like 3 families full of people, like just one after another right there. He carried it down to the dock. We were all sitting, people were swimming, and they're at the water, and him and his son were just churning the pizzas out. And I was like, you know what, I need to get one of those.
I like pizza. I can do this.
I do. And I've gained 3 pounds since I bought a pizza oven. But I bought 2 of them, and you can see them in one of the images here. One of them is round and runs off of propane, and the other one is long and stainless steel and has a chimney, and that one runs on pellets. So I'm doing side by side. I'm doing side by side comparisons.
Ooh.
And I am having a ball making pizza. So what's the I already told you the downsides of the pellet one, from a practical standpoint, like when you're using it. What do you think I failed to consider about a wood pellet burning oven that, like, I was going to bed and I was like, ooh, I forgot to think about this. Do you know what it was? Exactly. You smell like smoke after you use it. And I hate that. I can't deal with smelling like smoke. So it's like
all the camping you do and everything. Dear Lord.
Oh, dude. And I hate it. I cannot stand, like, I have camping gear that I don't want to wash if I don't have to and wear it out, but I have to wash it because it smells like smoke.
Mm-hmm.
But anyhow, I'm having fun. The propane powered one is really easy because all I have to do is turn it on, and it has its own igniter. So I did, man, you're not going to be able to see on the camera. You're just going to have to trust me. But I was leaning down listening, like, I don't know if it lit or not. Let me try again. And you'll see it. Did
it burn the hair off your head?
Well, it's like, it's not a pressure vessel, but it does fill up with propane, right? If it doesn't light. So when I clicked it again and it went poof, I lost a little bit of hair right up here at the front, a little bit of an eyebrow, and my eyelashes are singed on the end. So
everybody's like, that pizza doesn't smell too good, Jeff. You're like, I know. Hold on.
Yep. And one of the kids was with me, and I didn't see if she lost any hair. But she does artwork on her, what are these called? Eyebrows, like little cuts and stuff. So it's not like you'd tell if they got burned off anyway.
Right.
But anyhow, I am having a blast with the pizza ovens, and in my typical, what you would expect from me, I didn't order them. Actually, I didn't even do what I normally would do and hold out for someone a company to send them to me. I got them off of Facebook Marketplace.
Ooh.
For like $50 a piece. Cheaper. And they're actually, like, one was 150 and the other's 230 is the retail. The 230, I put the link to so you can see the models I'm dealing with. If anyone grabs that out of the comments, you'll see both of those. And I mean, you see the prices right up there. And the one that's 230, brand new, never been used, $50 cash. And I was like, hot diggity. So,
I'm gonna eat some pizza. I'm gonna need a rascal at SHOT Show to get around.
Pretty much, yeah.
That's gonna be End of Jeff's hiking career right here. Pizza
people suggested I should get a Rascal so I could go to goals. And I was like, I don't want to drive that far with my foot jacked up,
Yeah.
And
is it your driving foot?
It's not, but I still have to set it somewhere. And the problem is the way the boot fits, it picks my leg up just enough that it leans against a really hard part on the inside of the door. I'm like, man, this is so annoying. Every bump hits and it bounces, and I get like a bruise on the side of my leg. It's annoying. Oh, look at that. We've got Mr. Komar. Hello. And thank you for the 3 yos, the enthusiastic yos, no less.
Yes. It's exciting.
And Chris for the 740. Good evening, everyone. Good evening to you, too.
Good evening.
Yeah. So I did throw some videos up about that, a Streamlight weapon light that I'll show you guys here in a minute, and a couple other things. So did I share the store? I don't think I shared the store.
Holla back.
Yeah. Well, I posted a note thinking maybe Clover or Gary or someone would want to come on and talk about goals, but I think I posted it too late and they probably didn't see it. Anyhow, lots of videos went up today. You can go check them out. They're on the Amazon store. Some of them will probably make it onto the main Gear Report site, but who knows when. I got more to put up, and I just no, actually I was about to say something, and I don't know. I was about to say something about something happening with a company I work with, and then I realized that they've been very aggressive at reminding us that we're not allowed to tell anyone about it. Because it's like protected private information. So I can't. I've already said too much.
That's it. All of a sudden, Jeff vanishes from the show.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry,
and
Jeff.
in general, let's see. There we go. I have dropped in a Facebook message to Clover the link if he wants to join us, in case he didn't see it. I am a tease. It wasn't on purpose. This time I was about to talk about something and then realized, oh, yeah, I'm under an NDA. I'm not allowed to talk about that. So it's good that I caught it in time. So we're waiting on Clover to get logged in. I'll show you this. There it is, TLR7HLX. And it's got something really neat that Streamlight's been doing more of. And I can't decide which one I like better. Because I've got different lights from them. I've got a whole bunch of lights from Streamlight, and some of them have a port somewhere where you open the port and you plug your USB in and you charge it that way. And then some of them, what they seem to be going to is more of these batteries. Let me turn it so we can read it. See, that says USB-C on it, and it has a little port up there. So you have to take the battery out of the flashlight and plug it in order. Well, it's inconvenient. It's not like it's a ton of work, but so the older versions, what they were doing just a couple years ago is on many of the lights, you just slide the housing and it would expose a port where you plug it in or something like that. You didn't have to actually take the battery out to plug it in. Now, I love that it is a rechargeable battery, and I don't think I've bought regular non-rechargeable batteries in years. Like, I'm trying to think, when is the last time I bought a battery that wasn't rechargeable? And devices that I can't plug in and charge, they're starting to piss me off a little bit. So I'm happy that they have the battery that I can plug in. And I actually would like to get some additional ones to put in other things that don't have rechargeable batteries. But
yeah, those are cool.
So I don't want to promote them, okay? But I've still got this little actually I'm not sure it works anymore, but this which would make sense, right? You know who makes this light? It's not Streamlight. If it was Streamlight, it freaking worked.
The O? Is it the O?
Yeah, this is one of the Olights that they sent me a while ago, and I'm pushing the button, nothing's happening. Now, when it worked, I love that it had this magnetic charging base. But I mean, as you can see, it doesn't appear to be working anymore. So I don't.
It could have burned your house down, so it could have been a lot worse.
Yeah.
Right. So, well, at least I don't.
With all those guitars, that place would go up quick.
I don't store it near gunpowder or anything, so at least that's good. Yeah.
Now they make regular sized batteries in the USB rechargeable, right?
Right. Yeah.
So, are you familiar with concealedcarry.com and all their brands?
Am I?
I don't know. Jacob Riley and all them.
Not really. Not really. No.
I know they sell them, so or they have a company that does them or something.
Like they have a store brand, an in-house brand they've come up with.
Yeah, they've got a bunch of brands under their umbrella. I'm trying to think of some. Mountain Man Medical is one.
Right.
What is it? Range something. So shot timers.
Oh, right. Right. Riley's company.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I don't remember. It must have been the year before last it shot. I think is when it was. But, they have all their brands represented in the booth, and they had those batteries, and I'm like, what are these? And they were like regular AA size, and I was like, oh, that's pretty cool.
So the light that I forgot to bring up, that TJ and I were talking about right before we went live, I was like, where is it? I know I had it because I was about to shoot a video on it, and it's in my backpack that's down beside my bed because I just carried it this weekend. It's another Streamlight, and the a couple-year-old model that I have, you pull the housing up around the light, you slide it out, and then you plug into a port there and charge it. Now this newer one, you actually have to unscrew and take the battery out, and it's like two AA's that are made into one long battery, and it has a USB-C port on it, which is kind of neat. So I'll try to remember to bring that one and show it next week, and I'll get a video up on that. That's getting up in the queue. This one was ahead of it in the queue, and I got some videos done on that today. So that other one, maybe I'll shoot some videos on that tomorrow and get those up. But I absolutely love rechargeable batteries. I get very frustrated at non-rechargeable batteries. All right, so I already have cried a little bit about not being able to make it to goals. I have missed every NRA show since, when did I go last? 2016, I think. It's been a long time, and I miss it a little bit. And sometimes I'm like, I should have gone, but nothing like this one. I mean, this goals show or convention or whatever they were calling it, like, everything I saw, I was like, oh, I wish I could have made it to that. So what's your impression? I haven't actually talked to anyone who was there. So was it as good?
I haven't had as much of a chance to talk to anyone, not like live, debrief thing. Ghost is, we would have done it last night or Tuesday night or whatever, but he's got work issues. Been run ragged with things there. So
right.
But I don't know how far down the rabbit hole you want to go. So outside looking in from like a public perspective, I think it come off as a really good show.
Good.
Behind the scenes from the industry, media, event people working behind the scenes, there was a lot of problems. Like nothing major catastrophic, but there's a lot of tweaking that's going to have to go on.
Oh, sure.
For sure.
They bit off a lot, though. I mean, not done a show like this before to go big on the first try. It's like, that's bold. You already screw things up.
Yeah, and that's what that's why I want to caveat and I always say from the public perspective and all that, because it almost comes off as, I don't know, rude or something to come out of the gate and say that there was a bunch of problems behind the scenes. But I mean, that's the truth. There was. But again, I mean, those will get solved and the public won't be the wiser as to what went on anyway. So So, I hate to publicly get into, some of those issues, but privately, um, what I can say publicly was things done right, for sure. And the media day, having the whole media day on the floor,
Mm-hmm.
holy moly, was that
Good.
that was amazing, man. That was
And
amazing.
were there many brands that didn't show up for that?
For the media day or for the event in general?
Well, so what I was afraid was going to happen with the media day, I saw a brand or two posting about, oh yeah, we'll be there on like what it was. Friday was media only, and Saturday was when the public got there. And I saw brands saying, oh yeah, we'll be there on Saturday, and I didn't know if they were just like they didn't say Friday because the public couldn't be there Friday anyway.
Yeah.
You
There
know,
wasn't. Yeah,
I
there
was
wasn't
concerned that a lot
many.
of brands just wouldn't show up for the media day.
Yeah, there wasn't many that I noticed that there was a few that didn't show up at all.
Mhm.
I can think of two off the top of my head. And then there was not many more than that didn't show up for media day, but then showed up for Saturday and Sunday. I would say maybe like less than five. You could probably count them on your hand. There wasn't many, and trying to think of any, and none of them were like big, huge brands, right? Like any of the bigger brands, especially, they were there on media day for sure.
Mhm.
So it could have been scheduling, could have been delayed flights, it could have been as to why they weren't there. It may not have been a conscious decision beforehand,
Sure. And I want to because you said you don't want to come on here and publicly sound like you're bashing them or whatever. I just what my perspective that I'm not fishing for
Yeah.
that. I just
Right.
think that they took on something incredibly ambitious, and
They
if
did.
they screwed up like 10% of the stuff, then they're outperforming most people.
Well, it obviously, that's what I'm saying. Obviously, the things that I think need a vast amount of improvement, um, was um, was things that are not going to cause any issues for the public perception of the
Yeah.
show and all anyway. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like from outside looking in, social media and everything else, like you wouldn't know it. And G made a comment out there about SHOT Show never has any problems behind the scenes. And I think that's why the reason we were aware as an industry, I think, in media of the issues is because we were closer to everything going on, right? Like
Sure.
it was a smaller event. I would say it's the size of maybe like USCCA.
Mm.
And so SHOT, you're not going to know that because unless you're just spend the entire show walking around behind SHOT Show people, you're never going to know the issues, right?
Yeah.
Whereas this show was small enough, the word got around quick and people talked and there was
Sure.
the media day. There was time for people to do that too, right? Because
Yeah.
it was a smaller show. So there was time for people to talk.
That's good. So did you feel like oftentimes, so the media days, I think, are kind of a mixed bag. A media only event, like it's going to sound terrible. I don't like to go to events when the public's there because our goals are at
I
odds.
hate it. I hate
You know?
public days, dude. Absolutely. I mean, other than B-roll to get footage where the event looks bigger for like B-roll things, you know what I mean? Where it looks busier.
Yeah.
Or
Well, you got to service your fans.
Yeah, I mean, as famous as you guys are, I can understand.
no,
You don't want to go out in public with the public there.
I mean, I hear you, but they just get away. But to be fair, let's be fair here. Media day, I had people walk in front of my camera at least twice, and it was media day, so we can't blame just the public anymore.
Sure.
We can blame the TikTokers or the Instagrammers or what other weird people, the writers, I don't know, the other weird people that have no clue about somebody taking video when there's a tripod there.
Yeah. Well, and I think there are a lot of assumptions made at events, and I know a lot of people aren't going to read if you hand them stuff, but even if you just give, your top 5 things people screw up, don't do these things wrong. Don't walk in front of people's cameras, don't interrupt when someone's filming. Don't film for 20 minutes when there's a line of people, do that. Use your time to schedule something to film, you can give people some, here are some best practices
Yeah.
And maybe address that a little bit, because some people, like, they don't know. It's like you go to a range day at SHOT Show. Range day at SHOT Show, people want to sit up and film for 40 minutes at certain brands. And it's like, you can't make the range yours for 40 minutes when we're all trying to get quick footage and get out, like, that's hella rude. And I've told brands before, they're like, oh yeah, well, we got these people, they want to film. I'm like, brother, we're all here to film.
Right.
Oh yeah. Like, I get you're excited, you want to get some video, but get quick B-roll, make arrangements to do longer stuff when you're not holding up the line.
Yeah.
And I've had some brands look at me like, oh wow, I never even thought of that. Like, they spend all that money. Of course, they want to get some big videos.
Oh yeah.
So to them, it's like, oh my, I'm winning. And it's like, you know how many people you're pissing off who would have helped your brand, but now they're like, screw them.
No, there were several we didn't even go to that shot because they were filming. I was like, let's go. We're waiting in line forever. Like, we don't have time for this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, here's the thing with range day at Goals is started out a little sketchy, first of all, just because of the way the firing line is. Now, that is something at Opie, because that was on Opie and the Smokies range, that he was already within, an hour of being there, was already brainstorming next year or whatever, and the dirt work he needed to do and some other stuff, right, to completely correct those issues.
Sure.
And they makeshifted it good enough, but it was still very, very, very cramped. And so there was not room or time. There was not room. You know what I mean? It wasn't a time deal or anything. There just was not room for people to set up big camera things and do a lot there. I mean, every table, everything was so close together. They wouldn't like separated into bays. It was one continual long firing line, and of course, I would assume it was probably similar to IB 8888, which I've heard complaints about it being a long firing line like that type situation. So maybe something like that. But I mean, other than getting some shorts and some B-roll over somebody's shoulder type thing, that was about all you were going to do.
Oh, certainly. Yeah, we tried. I remember, what was it, 5-6 years ago, that we all told Toby, don't try to interview people. And he, in typical fashion, blew us off. Like, no, I know what I'm doing. I have technology that will solve this, whatever. And he tried. And then, when the video got posted, every comment was like, yeah, nice video, but we can't hear a thing. There's too much gunfire. So,
tech has come a long way. And, I'm certainly with my microphone setup, you're still going to hear the gunfire, but it's going to pick up the voices. I mean, because I've done it before, plenty good enough for the audio to be decent. But still, for me, and I've done this every event all year long. I think so. That my wife will film me in horizontal, and then I will turn around and have her shoot a few things. And sometimes it's different than what I shoot. And I film vertical and let her do shorts. And why do I do that? That way I'm not shooting the same thing twice for vertical. And then she has to shoot. It eliminates time. You feel what I'm saying? It saves time.
Yeah.
By doing it that way.
Yeah.
So we both get to shoot, but yet it's saving everybody time.
So from my perspective, I've complained that I don't like being at events when the public's there because our goals are at odds. And if I get it the way I want it, then I'm kind of shafting the public who's just trying to enjoy themselves. And if they get what they want, then they're walking all over what I'm doing. So it's just not a good situation. But the downside of the media only events that I have found is the brands go into what I kind of call the SHOT Show response mode of, oh yeah, let's do whatever. And they have no intention of doing it. They're just being nice to everyone and blowing smoke up people, and then they'll figure it out later. And whoever teaches people, whoever advises the media people, within the companies or the marketing people or whatever, to do that needs to be slapped. Because, like, be honest. I'm going to be honest with you. If I'm talking to a brand, I'm going to be honest with the brand and say, here's what I have on my schedule. Like, I can get to it at this point, or I can do this project, but here's what I need to make it happen because, you know, there are multiple pieces at play here. You know, I'm going to be honest with them. I need them to be honest with me and say, okay, we're evaluating who we're going to send something to, not, yeah, that's fine. Because who was it? Franklin freaking Armory at SHOT Show told, oh yeah, let's do it. Here, I want to send you one of these. I want to send you one of these. And and one of them was a binary trigger for a Gen 3 Glock. Well, I don't have a Gen 3 Glock. TJ doesn't have a Gen 3 Glock. We have other generations of Glocks, but not the one that was needed for that. I spent hours at SHOT Show looking for Gen 3 Glock or Gen 3 Glock clones that I could use for that project, trying to set that up. And then when we follow up with the guy, he's like, well, you know, we're trying to figure out what we're doing. Like,
yeah.
But you said it was a done deal, and I spent time, and I didn't talk to some brands. I turned down some potential reviews because I thought we were on for this, and that shit just lights me up. Whoa. So, I mean, it really, really makes me angry when they do that, and that's like, I've got a friend or two at that company, but if I talk to them again, the first thing is going to be, hey, here's what happened last year. Here's why it fucked me. Oops.
Yeah.
Well, that's I saw them at NRA too, and that's what they're like, well, you know, we'll see what we can do. We'll get you this and get you that, and then still nothing.
Yeah.
Well, there's certain company. I think that's a company specific thing, too. And I know Media Day for me. And honestly, the whole show, because I was able to talk to people even during the public. And like I said, it wasn't an NRA or surely not a SHOT Show. I'll gauge it like this. So when I come out of a show, the following week, which is obviously this week, I don't contact a soul. Like, I know they're getting home. They're, you know, same as me, right?
Yeah.
And so my thing is to always wait like at least a week, you know, closer to 2 or something, and then follow up. I've already had 3 companies. Well, I had one company the day I literally got home. I had an email waiting.
Yeah.
From that company. I didn't even have to contact them. So
that
tells me that doesn't happen, and you can verify that. That doesn't happen too often that they contact you. So the fact that I've had 3 this week, like I think that says a lot about the willingness that the companies were, at least the ones I approached.
So what I've found when it's a media only event is oftentimes the companies, they kind of go into defensive mode, and it's like they feel like everyone's trying to get free stuff, so we're just not going to get anything out.
You understand why, right, Joe?
Oh, certainly.
80% of quote unquote influencers or quote unquote creators fuck the industry over. Since you dropped the F-bomb earlier, I'll do it too, because that's the truth, and that's quite honestly, that's one of my very first things that I say when I approach a company that doesn't know who I am. You know what I mean? That's actually part of my pitch now, because I've heard it so many times that it's like, look, I understand that 80% of the people that approach you in this capacity are just looking to screw you over. That's not me. Like my whole point, my whole goal is to hopefully build a relationship with you, but I want to amplify and help your business. I want to help you make money.
Yeah. Yep.
That's always good.
And you know, when you've been doing it for a while, you know, for us, it's easy, you know, well, you know, we don't know you or whatever, you know. I've only been doing this for 15 years, you know. I'd have been out of business a long time ago if we didn't deliver. But anyhow, yeah, it does feel like an uphill battle when there's nothing but media there. But who knows? And I think really I just keep coming back to SHOT Show and the idea that so many brands just, they'll tell you one thing and do something else. And I've completely lost my patience with that.
Well, I'll tell you one thing, and it may have been, we'll see how it pans out in the next few weeks or whatever, obviously. But one thing that I went into SHOT Show, and you know this as well as G out there and some other ones, is the Amazon pitch.
Mm.
And I'm not going to lie, my Amazon pitch at SHOT was horrible. I'd walk in there and they didn't have a damn clue what I was talking about. I might as well have been just talking to the floor, talking to the carpet, literally. But I mean, I was able to close on a couple things at SHOT.
Yeah.
I did a much, much better job at this show. And
Mm.
I think it was the more laid back environment, having that media day. I've refined the pitch a little bit. I was able to better explain it. Was able to get contact with either a person in the booth who understood the whole Amazon angle better.
Yeah.
If not, then at least somebody who could get me the contact for the company that handled it, that knew it better.
Mm-hmm.
Right? They were like, "Oh, yeah, I'm a little bit familiar with what you're talking about, but we've got a girl that handles all that. Let me write her contact information on this card for you."
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
then you give me your information. I'll pass it along to her. Follow up with her. This sounds great. But again, I don't know all the ins and outs and the
Sure.
particulars, and she will. So, I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Dude, that's what I went through for years when I was I was going to SHOT as Gear-Report, but also looking to sign people up for affiliate programs. So I was working with that affiliate agency. I spent so much time educating brands. Well, everyone and their brothers got an affiliate program now. I gave up on it, and then probably a year and a half later, like I gave up on the firearms industry and affiliate programs. I fought for years to educate people, and I spent so much time. And then about the time that I said, you know what, I'm done, and got out of it and said, you know what, I'm just going to do Gear-Report full time. About a year later, year and a half later, everyone and their brother wants an affiliate program. I've had offers to go back and do affiliate stuff, and I could probably make a killing. Make a killing while helping a lot of brands to save money and have higher performance, better programs, and better legal protection. Keep them out of trouble. I could do a lot of good things. I had such a bad taste in my mouth when I got done with all that I was like, I just don't want to. So we'll see.
LFA affiliates sounds good to me.
But it's the same as the Amazon thing. I've been a little reticent to make a lot of the Amazon pitches just because I'm so tired of making that similar pitch for the affiliate programs and having people be like, yeah, okay, we don't understand it, and not being willing to do it, whatever.
I'll say this too about the event. It's because it's my understanding, and I could be wrong. It's my understanding that they're pretty adamant about that being a static location moving forward. And I bring that up simply to say that being there and walking the floor for 3 days, they're going to be limited with how many they can bring in there without having to move it and change the venue. And maybe if they grow to that point, maybe they decide to do that. They're either going to have to cap it, or they're going to have to find another place. Now, the range. This was something that was annoying and not really, a nitpicky behind the scenes thing. But the range was like an hour drive away.
I heard that.
So that was kind of a pain. It really was.
How far was the range at TriggerCon?
Well, I don't know. We rode the bus, remember?
Yeah.
So who knows? Seemed like it was forever.
It seemed like forever.
And we had to ride the stupid bus, which we'll have to do that. We'll have to do that again this year, I'm assuming, too.
Oh, I'm sure. Probably no parking.
Like the bus at SHOT Show felt like it was a long ride, but it was only like 25 minutes. So if you're talking about a longer ride than that, holy crap.
Yeah, no, I can assure. I put it in a GPS, right? So, I mean, it said X number of minutes, and with you never know. You know what traffic is like when you put it into your GPS, but the problem is, it's at the moment you put it in there, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you get 10 minutes down the road and somebody's had a wreck, your time's extended, or you know what I mean, or anything can happen.
Yep.
Congestion, anything. The quickest time putting it in a GPS I ever seen, which is optimal conditions of getting there, was 52 minutes. and we were 14 minutes from the venue. So that's over an hour.
Yeah.
Wow.
From the venue.
Yeah, that's rough.
So, yeah, but I mean, what do you do? I mean, there's not big ranges in the city.
So you're limited as far as ranges go.
Yeah. So I mean, it's like I said, that's a complaint that it's on one hand it's an inconvenience. Yes. On the second hand, like, what do you do about it? Like, I don't know what there's not really anything you can do about it.
Right. So you plan on going back to that one next year? Do you think it was worthwhile?
Yeah. Aside from some really crappy personal stories, it was a decent thing. Well, like I said, the behind the scenes stuff, but they'll work those kinks out.
Yeah.
But yeah, we had. I don't know if you want me to go into it or not.
I mean, you censor yourself, filter yourself, whatever you.
No, I'm just. Do you want the personal anecdote that happened?
I mean,
It's a good story. It's along the lines of the two blowouts at SHOT Show. So let's just say it's been one of those years. So Friday night, a little thunderstorm rolls through. Pretty bad thunderstorm, actually. It was quick, but it was high winds and everything else. So we leave the event and we're soaking wet. We try to go home, try to go to the Airbnb, and traffic is backed up like crazy. So we finally figure out that multiple power lines are down, only down the dead end street that our Airbnb is on, at the very end of this dead end street, which is over a mile long, which has steep hills up and down all along it. I'm talking steep hills. So we're like, well, crap, what's going on? Oh, we'll probably be at least 2 hours.
oh my.
Okay, well, screw it. We'll go eat, this, that, and the other, blah, blah, blah. We go eat, we come back. The roads are still blocked. What's going on? Oh, well, this is like 10 o'clock at night. We're like, well, they're like, well, the lines and all are still down because there's trees everywhere. There's electrical poles down, only on our street. Hey, we're from out of town. We're working. All of our stuff is in there. How the heck, what do we do? Oh, well, you can walk down there and get your stuff and bring it out.
Oh, wow.
So we had no option. So we walked a mile one way and then a mile the other way up and down these hills, got a suitcase packed. And then even though we had an Airbnb paid for, we had to get a night in the hotel room. It was not until nearly midnight the following night that they had electricity on and the road open.
Wow.
Good times.
Wonderful. Yeah. So, and we didn't have G-Webs there to take us to fix anything, unfortunately, like we did with the tires. So we were kind of screwed. The good part of that story is when I got home, I had a refund from the Airbnb guy for a night's stay because I was in communication. I was in communication with him the whole time because I didn't know if he would think the house burned down or something crazy or like I didn't, you know what I mean? Like I didn't know if he had some type of like the router would report something or his security system or weird thing. So, and he was very helpful with calling the power company and trying to figure out ETAs on getting things on and everything else. And I never asked for a refund,
right?
Because it wasn't his fault. But he could tell I was upset that I had to. You know, we were basically homeless
Obviously.
for 30 something hours. We were homeless, and we had to get a hotel room and walk freaking forever. And so yeah, that was nice of it.
What's your silver lining? I guess there are good people that'll do the right thing, even if they don't have to sometimes.
True. Yeah.
Well, I'm glad to hear the event went okay. G-Webs did share a little bit of scale information, and I was not aware that the financial disparity between GOA and the other organizations was quite as much as it is. And I got to admit, though, USCCA making as much money as they do doesn't surprise me because they're crooks.
All right.
They are some shady business people, and I say that from when I was doing affiliate marketing stuff, and they called me in a couple times for to do presentations and And they were well, for one, they were douchebags, but then also they blew smoke up my ass, and they were just milking me for free consulting so they could go get some expert opinion and then apply some of the business stuff. And they were rude about it, and they're just, I lost so much respect because I basically met with their executive team and lost so much respect for them. Not from, a lot of people will tell you about a company from the outside, but like sitting in a room with their entire executive team for probably 4 hours over those 2 years convinced me very deeply they only care about your money and they're douchebags. So there you go.
So,
USCCA.
on the non-gun side of it, just to kind of give a more, I guess, a more of a perspective, they had panels and classes and stuff, multiples going at the same time all day, both days.
Yeah.
And then they had the comedy thing, they had the concert. So for an event goer, obviously in media, we didn't really have time for that. I had a panel, but, outside of that, I didn't have time to go listen to it. Well, I'll take that back. I went and listened to the veterans one because Ghost and Tony and a couple of guys I knew were on there, and they came to mine. So mine was first. So it's like I was kind of obligated at that point.
Sure.
But so I did get to see another panel, and those were put on pretty well. And like I said, the attendance seemed to be pretty good. I mean, despite where mine was held, I thought turnout for it was pretty good. I mean, it was in a classroom. They were using 2 classrooms, what they called them, a ballroom and an event hall in the venues, the 4 places they were using for all their panels and stuff.
Right.
And the classrooms were kind of around the corner, kind of back in the corner type thing. And the signage for it wasn't real good. This is one of the gripes I have with the event. But we had 30, 40 people probably in there.
That's good.
And I mean, I was surprised. How to get kids into youth shooting sports.
Oh, right. Yeah, I saw something you posted about that, I think.
Yeah. So
good. All right. Well, I appreciate you coming on and getting us up to speed on that. I felt terrible about not making it. And then even worse, I got a call. What was the range day? Was Thursday? Right before the shooting started at the range day, my phone rings, and it was Nate from King of Camo. And he's like, Jeff, where are you? You're at Goals, right? They're looking for you. It's like, dude, I broke my foot. I had to cancel. So, well, they don't know because they're looking for you. And
You're like, I'm in trouble already?
Oh, Mad Minute's starting. I got to go. Click. So,
oh, man, I wished I would have known what that is. Well, they were trying to speed up the process of handing out badges, another flaw. They did not have that process streamlined. And the whole badge situation was horrendous at best anyway. There was no consistency in the badges. Some people had them, some people didn't. Everybody's just about looked completely different, and it was just like they had multiple people that created and handled only too many chiefs and not enough Indians or something doing the badges type thing. It was weird. Multiple hands in it. So they actually split the badges up between like 3 different people on 3 different parts of the range. Or 3 different, a little bit ways apart that were just randomly calling out names for people. Had I heard your name, if I'd have known that, I'd have stood there and at least got your badge for you. And you could have had your badge.
Yeah, well, but so here's the thing. Before, it wasn't until a couple days before the event that I knew for certain that I wasn't going. I needed to get to the doctor and see the x-ray and see, was my foot healing, see how things were going. And he said there were no visible signs of healing yet. He would not go. He would advise that I not go. And
you call him a pansy
for weeks.
Right.
And I said, listen, this is the second time I broke this bone in a few years. I have to have it heal right this time. I don't need it breaking again. So, because I didn't go when it broke before was at the gathering several years ago, the night before the 3-4 day event started, and I walked on it the whole time. And then
He's a trooper.
it was early COVID when it was crazy, and I was like, screw it, I'm not going to the doctor. It's a broken foot. I had a boot at home. I wore for a day and a half and said, this sucks, I'm not wearing it anymore. And it just, I didn't give it a chance to heal right. So I said, this time I am going to make sure it heals right. I don't need to go and hurt myself trying to do this event.
Yeah.
So I looked at the emails that they had sent. Every email that they sent about this event was from a no reply address. And I literally could not find, like, how do I let them know I'm not coming? You know, if they had a gift bag or if they were doing badges or any of that stuff, I wanted to let them know so that they didn't bother putting it together. Like, just don't waste your time with this. I'm not going to be there. It's
you
like,
did want the gift bag, though.
And you complained for me on another behind the scene thing. Like the email communication was pretty horrible at best. That was for the vendors and the media. Like the public, there really wasn't anything. Their social media. Let me give a positive here then, because we ragged on a couple things. Their social media coverage, talking about the GOA of the event, was above freaking phenomenal.
Yeah. Did they have the camera thing that was going around in circles? You know what I'm talking about? Like,
that was the slow-mo dancing thing or whatever. Yeah, that was them. Yeah.
Okay.
But I'm talking about not only that, but just their coverage, their own coverage, and the pictures and the video they were taking, and the way they handled the panels, and the like from the media side, they were crushing it. So,
that's awesome.
So that was good.
So, but I felt bad because I had not proactively let them know. But literally 2 different times, I opened emails. I went through several emails. I couldn't find anything. I looked on websites, and I was like,
Alex, Ben, and John. Those are the 3 emails that everything, and it didn't come from one place. The emails I've got, with what emails I did get. Let me back up. They come from 3 different people. So you didn't know who to contact about what. And it's like, it was.
And of course, I had John's email at the last 2 places he worked, but not at GOA. So, and I've got his card somewhere. And I was like, well, if I have time, I'll dig for it, see if I can find it. And it was like, it was more trouble than it was worth. Like,
well, and he was
20 minutes to figure out how to let you guys know I'm not going to be there. Then, you know,
he was ran so ragged, Jeff, that I don't know if, even if you would have texted him or something, he wouldn't have answered. So it's possible, because he was stressed, and it was crazy, and rightfully so. Rightfully so. He had a lot on his plate.
Oh, sure. Yeah, the very ambitious event to pull off. You know, I think a lot of people might have started doing a media event or doing a small show and then combine them later.
Right.
You know, just so you can manage one thing at a time. But to do everything that they did and then have an entertainment and everything, like, they swung for the fences going out of the gate. And I respect that they bit off a lot. And again, that's why I was saying I expected them to screw things up, not because they're bad people, but because they took on a lot. And things never go that right.
Definitely. Yeah.
That they would get all those things right on the first try. So yeah.
Yep.
Sounds pretty cool, though.
Like I said, on paper, let's just say, or whatever. For now, maybe not on, but on paper, it was a phenomenal event.
Sure.
For sure.
Good. Let's see. What else? I think I noticed I've been so busy with other things that I just happened to look on Gear-Report. I'm going to give you guys a little behind the scenes here. Let me pull this over to the other screen.
Oh, geez.
So if there's anything else you want to talk about goals, now's your chance, because I'm about to change topics here. Let's see.
Oh, I don't think so. Move on.
Screen. I am going to share all of the, and I know it's too small, you can't really see what everything is, but the point is, these are all the pending articles waiting to be published.
There's quite a few.
There are 4 TJs, 2 AJs, 5 2 Tobys, 5 AJs, 4 TJs, and I have a bunch that I need to write that that are in draft or haven't even been started yet.
I've got 3 more I'm getting ready to send you.
Yeah. So there's going to be a lot of stuff published on Gear-Report here shortly. I have been going 27 different directions and have admittedly put publishing articles on Gear-Report as kind of the last priority for a while. So I'm about to start a little bit of a different project that's going to take some time from me. So I got to get a bunch of stuff published before I start that other project. And then as my foot heals and I'm able to be on my foot longer, I've got to get on the project of selling the Battlewagon 3 and finishing the Battlewagon 4 because it runs now. It's drivable, but I got to get a new air compressor so I can get the tire swap done because the tires on it are not road safe. They're dry rotted. I have all the new ones ready. I just have to, I broke my air compressor, so I got to get another one so I can get those tires finished, mounted. And a few other things I have to do so I can make that truck roadworthy and start driving it. Lots of big project things are going to keep me busy. So, and so many things to write and so many videos from my backpacking trip this summer that I have to get done, and articles to go with them. I have, there's going to be so much content. If you like backpacking, if you like gun stuff, if you like TJ, he's got articles coming. If you don't, I don't know what use we have for you.
Yeah. I'm just the looks, baby.
If you like guitar stuff, there's a whole bunch of guitar stuff coming.
Oh, geez.
Oh, I got a new guitar that should arrive tomorrow. I forgot about that. Oh, that's neat. I've got a deal going with a company that I'll review one, and as soon as it gets posted, I say, okay, what's next? And they'll say, okay, here's what we'd like to do next, and here's your tracking number. Nice. And I'm like, hey, this is pretty cool. So we've done a few so far. They've sent me 3. The third one will arrive tomorrow. So I'll get that one done real quick and post some stuff on that and say, okay, we've got some momentum here. Can we open the floodgates and get some more products going? So, ship more than one at a time. But let's see what else. Oh, what? Look at silly me. What am I thinking here? Didn't have the ticker going. Thanks to Sylvan Arms. I apologize. I forgot to get that started. You see the thing there on the screen. I do have to ask Clover a question when we get off the air before we talk any more about that. No.
Jeff showed up with 2 minutes to spare.
I know I was early. So, but we're to briefly dive into Guitar-mageddon. Okay, real quick.
So excited.
Well, you should be.
I'm on edge.
Off something that I was not expecting. Just make that a little bit bigger. I haven't been playing a lot of acoustic, but I've been keeping an eye out for. There are a couple brands that I like, and if I find a deal on them, I'll buy them, even if it's just so I can shoot some videos for Amazon and then sell them. And if I get the right deal, I can actually make money, buy it cheap, use it to shoot some videos, post the videos that I can make money on. But then when I sell the guitar, I make money on that. So it's a win all the way around. This one is on Amazon right now for $899. And it sells pretty good. The company is Paul Reed Smith. It's PRSSC. This is one of the Angelus series guitars. And I gave and it's practically brand new with a hard case and everything. And I gave a guy $250 for it. And it didn't burn my hands when I touched it. Like I was like, I hope it's not hot, but I really don't think it was.
Sure.
Right. So anyhow, and I've been playing it and actually able to do some things on it that I haven't had success with some other stuff. And then, so the acoustic guitars have heavier strings and you got to work a little harder to play. So then it makes your fingers stronger. So then when I pick up an electric with lighter strings, I can do even more things on that. So it's been a really neat week of playing more acoustic. And then also, I think this one showed up since the last program too.
Sorry, folks.
I had forgotten about this. I know. Sorry that we've only got 2 guitars to talk about this week. This one, it's crazy. It's called Bullfighter. Why? I have no idea. But it's an absolutely beautiful kind of visible grain finish on the neck, and it feels really nice. It's kind of satiny. And then the body, so it looks like an electric guitar, but it doesn't have a pickup. It doesn't have a sound hole. It's a solid mahogany body, but it's got acoustic strings and an acoustic bridge and then a little piezo pickup under here. It is just bizarre. But I caught it on a sale on Amazon for $50 shipped. I was like, I'll take a chance on it. It's probably going to suck, but for $50, I can play with it and then sell it locally, probably for $60 or $70. I have very little risk here. It plays really nice. It's crazy that I've had really good luck. I haven't had a real dud guitar. Even buying the dirt cheapest things I can find, I haven't bought a real dud in quite a while. Like, we are truly in the golden age of cheap guitars right now.
You say that, and then next week you'll see like a smashed guitar up behind Jeff. And
Well,
it'll be like,
tomorrow,
this one didn't make it.
I said tomorrow. Actually, I think I got a revised shipping update today that said probably Monday is when it'll arrive. And it could be crap, the next one.
You never know.
But it's a kid guitar. So it's like, it may even be a kit, like a beginner kit that's a little bit smaller for a kid. So I'll, shoot some videos about that.
The more that you do play with and the more you review, the more experience you get to know, kind of be able to tell by looking at one or whatever, whether it's crap or not, right?
Sure. Well, and also I do setups, and I've done, like, when I started playing guitar, I didn't know anything, right? And it's only been a few years ago. Like, we talked about when I broke my foot at the beginning of COVID. When I was stuck trying not to walk on that broken foot is when I said, you know what? I tried to learn how to play guitar 12 years ago and I gave up, but I still have a guitar hanging on the wall. So I pulled that down and started messing with it. And that's when my journey to actually being able to play a little bit of something really started. So it hasn't been long that I've been doing this. And as part of this process, I learned how to do setups, and like, I've built a couple guitars, like the 3D printed guitar where I, printed it and then assembled everything, soldered, screwed everything together, like, and did the full setup from scratch on that. So I know how to do that. So when a guitar comes in, some of them are really set up terribly, and it makes me feel so bad. And we see it with firearms as well. Like, you ever take a pistol out or even a rifle, and even the iron sights are just way off.
Yeah.
And you think, what if a newbie who didn't know how to adjust those sights pulled that out and tried to learn how to shoot with that? They have such an uphill battle. It's similar with guitars. If they're set up very poorly, it makes it almost impossible. Like, learning to play a guitar is very difficult. It requires coordination and hand strength and knowledge. And when you're starting, you don't have any of that. And I think it's harder to learn how to play a guitar than it is to learn how to shoot. Anyone can learn how to shoot pretty much. Playing a guitar, I think, is a lot more difficult. And a bad setup makes it exponentially harder. And I do get some that I take them out of the box and go to play them, and I'm like, holy crap. And I grab the screwdriver and the Allen wrench and I start tweaking. And within 10 minutes, it plays nice. But it may have been just about impossible when it came out of the box. So I got to keep in mind that knowing how I like them set up and knowing that I can take 10 minutes and make all the difference in how it's set up. Kind of like with guns, I've got a couple different types of sight pushers. And if I get something that's really off, I can fix it real quick. And then it's not that bad anymore,
Yeah.
So,
The people that don't know that run stuff dry.
Yeah.
Because, they can't tell that it's dry by the noise it's making or whatever. That aggravates me. There's a lot of gun tubers that do that. They'll trash a handgun or something, and then I've seen it more on, I think, maybe on semi-auto rifles, but and go watch their video or something, and you can literally hear the action scraping.
Yeah.
You're like, if you put some lube on that, it was run right, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Or the semi-auto 12 gauge that isn't chambering fully. And it's like, did you read the manual? It says you got to run a box or two through it. You know, run some high brass through it to get it broke in,
or sometimes there's a gas valve that you got to turn, or just to tweak just a little bit for low brass, or maybe you've got something that won't shoot low brass at all without some type of an O-ring kit or something in there.
Yeah, so that's similar with a lot of different types of products, and I have had so I should be fair when I say that I haven't got a dud into the guitar space in a while. I have, now that I did think about it, I have had some that I took them out of the package and was like, "Whoo, man! If I don't adjust this truss rod, this thing's unplayable." So, but then literally a minute later, it's playable, because it's a pretty easy adjustment. So I had to keep that in mind. But man, I'm looking around. I have got so many guitars I need to list for sale. I'm just
we can tell.
Yeah.
Yep. There's
you just see the display models behind.
I'm sure he's surrounded by guitars.
That the display models alone, we can tell.
Yeah. Yep. All right. Let's see. I think we have exhausted. We've gone past our hour.
Yeah, we're over. I was getting ready to say we're going over. You're rambling about guitars.
I charge time and a half or anything over an hour, just so you know.
Yeah. Just send that to who's not here tonight. Send that to Komar. No, TJ. Send that to Kevin.
TJ will just have to pick up the tab at TriggerCon.
I'll get the tab.
I'm sure that's going to happen.
At some point, we could just add it on his tab, and he wouldn't know as much as he drinks. He wouldn't know the difference anyway.
Yeah, he would.
Wow. All right. Well, I think we're to wrap it up for this week. Thanks so much for coming on. Tell us about goals. I felt terrible not being there, but at least we get to hear that it went pretty well. TJ, thank you for being here. And I would like to speak on behalf of the AREX team and Global Ordnance. Thanks for wearing a cool hat.
Oh, yeah.
Right. I'm not directly affiliated with them. I have no right to speak for them, but I'm sure that they would say thank you for wearing that hat. It looks good on you. So
thank you.
And it also
it was close, and I realized I didn't have a hat when I started the show. I was like, oh crap.
I'd also like to give a shout out to Real Avid, because they make the coolest gun vise in history, and I see it right over your shoulder, and that's just amazing. I absolutely love the Real Avid products, and especially that gun vise. Oh, you got even more stuff back there.
I know, crazy.
Oh, that's right, because somebody sent you some stuff to make me jealous recently. I'd forgotten about that, and it worked. It worked.
I know. I saw the jealousy.
All right. Well, I should probably end the stream now before I say something I'll regret, right? Until next time, we'll see you at the range.